Time changes everything, even you. It moves forward without pause, reshaping your life in ways that often go unnoticed, until you suddenly look back and see just how different you've become. The person you are today is not the person you were 10 years ago, and the person you will be tomorrow is already being molded by the habits you live out right now. Time is the most silent sculptor. It chisels at your character, your thoughts, your choices, and your destiny. And while you cannot stop its flow, you can guide the shape it gives you. Every habit you form, every routine you repeat, every thought you dwell upon is like clay in the hands of time. The question is not whether time will change you, it already is, but whether you are allowing it to shape you into your highest self or into a shadow of what you could have been. When psychologists study behavior, they recognize that we are creatures of patterns. We crave familiarity, routine, and systems that simplify our lives. These patterns, once repeated long enough, become habits. And once habits are formed, they run like invisible software in the background of our minds, directing our actions without much conscious thought. Now here is where time becomes powerful. Habits are not neutral. They either build you up or wear you down, and because time magnifies whatever you practice, the small things you do every day become the greatest forces of transformation in your life. For example, choosing to exercise for 15 minutes may seem insignificant, but repeated over years, time transforms that into energy, health, and confidence. On the other hand, scrolling mindlessly for the same 15 minutes may feel harmless, but multiplied over years, time translates it into wasted potential, weakened focus, and regret. Time does not judge it, only reflects what you feed it. Think of your brain as a riverbed and your habits as streams of water running through it. Each choice you make deepens certain channels, making it easier for the water to flow that way again. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself based on repeated patterns. Time is what carves those channels deeper until they feel natural and automatic. The habit of gratitude, when practiced daily, rewires your brain to notice blessings more easily. The habit of complaining, when repeated, rewires your brain to notice only flaws. Over months and years, these repeated thought patterns harden into your default way of experiencing life. That is how time changes not just what you do, but how you see the world, and eventually how you see the world becomes how you live in it. The tragedy for many people is that they underestimate the power of small actions repeated across time. They want sudden breakthroughs, life-changing moments, or bursts of motivation that will instantly alter everything. Yet history, psychology, and philosophy all reveal the same truth. It is not the dramatic moments that shape you most, it is the quiet, repeated acts that you perform daily. If you are impatient and give up because change seems too small, you miss the compounding effect that only time can bring. A single healthy meal does not transform your body. A single kind word does not make you compassionate. A single day of focus does not build mastery, but repeated consistently, time turns them into a body strengthened, a soul softened, and a mind sharpened. Habits then are not just actions, they are investments. Each small choice is a deposit into the account of your future. Time is the interest that multiplies it. And just like with money, bad investments compound too. Procrastination compounds into regret, neglect compounds into weakness, self-doubt compounds into missed opportunities. But so does discipline, so does learning, so does courage. The beauty of time is that it gives back what you continually put in, whether you choose wisely or poorly. And in the end, it is not the dramatic once-in-a-lifetime events that shape you most, it is the collection of quiet votes you cast each day for the person you are becoming. This is why the habits you build are, in essence, the architecture of your future. You do not rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the level of your habits, and time is the gravity that pulls you there. If you want to change your future, you must change what you do consistently, not just what you hope for occasionally. Psychology teaches us that identity itself is formed through repeated action. You are not simply someone who occasionally runs. If you run consistently, you begin to see yourself as a runner. You are not just someone who writes once in a while. If you write daily, you embody the identity of a writer. Time takes those repeated actions and solidifies them into self. Soon, you no longer need to force yourself, you act that way because it has become who you are. But why is change so hard? Why do people who desperately want to form new habits often fail? The answer lies in comfort. Your brain prefers energy efficiency. Habits allow it to run on autopilot, conserving energy for survival. Breaking old habits feels uncomfortable because it disrupts that autopilot. Yet this discomfort is the exact doorway to growth. Time cannot transform you if you refuse to step into discomfort. Every act of discipline, repeated despite resistance, sends a signal to your brain. We are building something new. And with time, that new thing becomes the easier, more natural path. It is like walking through tall grass for the first time. It feels difficult at first. But keep walking that path daily, and eventually, a clear trail forms. Motivation, therefore, is not about waiting to feel inspired. It is about learning to lean on systems and consistency, especially when inspiration is absent. The strongest people are not those who feel motivated every day. They are those who allow time to work by repeating the right things even when motivation is gone. This is why successful lives are rarely about sudden massive effort, but about quiet persistence. Think of a sculptor chipping at stone. Each strike seems insignificant, but time makes the difference. After thousands of strikes, the statue emerges. The work of transformation is never sudden. It is the slow unveiling of something that was always possible, brought forth through time and habit. But here is a profound psychological truth. You do not need to fight against time. You need to partner with it. Time is already moving, already shaping you. The only decision is whether you let it shape you passively, by default, or whether you guide it intentionally. If you drift, time will carry you somewhere, but it may not be where you want to go. If you steer with discipline, time becomes your ally, carrying you steadily toward the person you dream of being. The good news is that time forgives. Even if you have wasted years, even if your habits have been destructive, you can begin again today. The brain remains capable of change throughout life. Your future self is not doomed by your past self, it is formed by your present choices. And while you cannot go back and reclaim lost time, you can redeem the time ahead by planting seeds now. Every day you live is another chance to begin writing a different story. And that is where the true motivation lies. 10 years from now will come regardless. The question is not whether it will arrive, the question is who you will be when it does. Will you be stronger, wiser, more fulfilled? Or will you be filled with regret, wishing you had started sooner? If time is guaranteed to pass, why not make it your greatest ally instead of your silent enemy? Every small act today compounds into who you will become. Your habits are not just about the present moment, they are about the person you are creating across time. So let us close with this truth. Time changes everything, even you. It has already shaped your past, and it is shaping your future even now. But you hold the power to decide what direction that change will take. Your habits are the blueprint, your daily choices the building blocks, and time the master builder. If you surrender to passivity, time will build a life you never wanted. But if you take hold with intention, time will build a life beyond what you imagined possible. You do not need to fear its passing, you need only to guide its flow. Every breath, every choice, every repetition is your way of working with the most powerful force you will ever know. 10 years from now, you will meet yourself again. The only question is, will you be proud of who you've become? Remember this. Time is not your enemy. It is your canvas, your companion, your silent ally. Let it change you, but let it change you into the highest version of yourself. For time changes everything. Even you, and in your hands lies the power to decide how